Hi guys, it's Lizzie here. So today I'm going to do a first impression and review of the new foundation from Revolution. This is the Conceal and Defined foundation. I'm also going to pair it up with their concealer as well to let you know how they work well together and what sort of coverage they give. So the foundation comes in 24 shades and it's £9, and the concealer comes in 25 shades and it's £4, but they have just released like a super sized one which is £7 as well, so it is bigger. I think it's 3 times bigger, so it works out better value for money. So with this foundation, it says it's a demi-matte finish and that it's long lasting, that it lasts up to 24 hours, which is amazing. I will not be testing it for that long, but yeah, I'll open it up for you. It is one with a doe foot applicator, a massive doe foot applicator, if you compare it to my face. And I'll show you the concealer. It's quite a big one as well, but in comparison, yeah. So my skin, as you can see, is fairly red. I have a lot of scars from acne. I don't have much active acne left. I've got a few blemishes down here, but it's mostly just redness and scarring, and that doesn't tend to go. So I always base my foundation on my skin colour of like my neck or my forehead, where there's less sort of pigmentation. It's very red around my nose and then just like the odd bits on my cheeks. So yeah, we're going to see how well this covers. I've moisturised my skin. It generally leans towards like the drier side or the dehydrated side. Oh, my cat wants to come up. So I tend to lean towards the more like full coverage foundations. So we're going to give this a go. Oh, look. It's Pepper G. Oh, it always looks like I'm strangling her. Okay. It's so pretty. Who's such nice eyes, Piggy? She's such a babe. She's so warm. Here you go. So for primer today, I'm going to use this one, which I think is by Evo. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a vegan and cruelty-free brand, and it's a really nice moisturising concealer. What's it called? Primer. Oh gosh. Piggy's getting really needy. It's just like a thick liquid. The only drugstore primers I had were colour correcting ones, and I think with the foundation first impression, you want to see how well the foundation covers and you don't want it to be helped with a green primer. Though if it needs that, that's fine, but we want to see how it actually works without any enhancements. Now, what I'm going to do is get this foundation and just sort of dot it on. The thing's very strange. I don't know how hygienic this is to be dunking this back in. And it's quite hard, like it's not spongy. Ooh, did you hear that? I'm just going to be endlessly covered in cat fur. So I'm going to take a beauty sponge and just try and press this in. I've gone for shade 0.5. Oh, now I've got another cat on my lap. This rat bag. And it's possibly too pale for my skin. So it's blending out relatively easy. Oh, hang on. Just lightened the camera a bit, so it was getting really dark. It is sort of like beading up over the over the primer in parts, which I've not found with this primer before. So that's one thin layer. It's not very even at the moment. I'm going to do a bit more. Here we go again. I'm just going to try and build up a bit more. I just don't feel it's very full coverage. The foundation I've been using loads recently is, I'll just get it for you, is this Revolution Full Coverage Camouflage Foundation. I think this is incredible. I've got a video of that coming up soon too, if it's not already up. with their matching concealer, which is this one. It just goes on a lot smoother than this. Okay, so I think that's as much coverage as we're going to get from that. So now I'm going to use the concealer, which actually, so this concealer is shade C1. So this was the lightest one of this at the time that I bought it, but it's darker than this foundation. So that's good. I'm going to take the sponge again. The concealer is adding a little bit more coverage, and it's blending out fine over the top of the foundation. So that's good. Well, this foundation is cruelty-free and vegan, which is fantastic for a drugstore brand. Okay, that's made it a lot better. They definitely work really well together, those two. I think the foundation alone just still looked really patchy, and it's like clung to some of the dry areas of my face, but the concealer hasn't. I don't know if it's just like a better, creamier formula. So what I'm going to do now is set my face with the Revolution Pro powder. This is a translucent powder, a finishing powder, and it's just, it has no pigment. But saying that, I have already used this. It does tend to make me look a little bit paler, which is fine for me, but I feel like it might start to look a bit ashy on some people. So do be careful with that. A translucent powder really shouldn't change the colour of your foundation at all. Okay, so that's all the base products, and I just think my skin looks really dry, which it doesn't when I use the other ones by Revolution or Urban Decay All Nighter, or what else. Even the Kat Von D one doesn't look this dry on me. I think that setting powder's awful in the sort of texture. It's just very thick. It's not fine enough, so it's really quite visible on the skin. But it's fine, with some setting spray and things we can get rid of that. That's alright. I think the foundation just went all very patchy. It was sort of it's just a very dry formula. I don't know how to explain it, because this concealer's dry, but I like it. It blends out nice and smooth. I think overall it's not full coverage enough compared to what I thought it would be, considering the name is it has Conceal in the name and it says full coverage foundation. It's just nowhere near as full coverage as the other things I use, and to put 3 layers on and it still not be properly full coverage is a bit too much hard work. But the concealer is really lovely. This powder is a bit crazy on my skin. I think it would be fine if you had really oily skin. I think then it would be really lovely. But yeah, my foundation's already started to crack. I'll show you. Now I don't know if you can see in here. The foundation starts to settle into all my scars, which again the camouflage one doesn't. And it's already creased around my nose. So what I'm going to do is the rest of my makeup and then come back to you, and we'll see how, how it's looking then once I've spritzed it a bit. It might just be that my skin's too dry for this sort of powder, and maybe I needed a different primer underneath the foundation. This is the thing with the first impression, you're only really, like, I've not used them with other things. I've used this concealer quite a bit and I sort of like it. I definitely have other favourites, but it's quite easy to work with. So yeah, I'll do the rest of my skin and then I will show you how I look. So I've finished my makeup now, and I still am not completely happy with the foundation. I feel it hasn't covered a lot of the redness around my nose and on my chin, and I think the texture looks really bad. I think it looks really cakey and quite dry, and my skin doesn't usually look like that with foundation these days, so it is a bit annoying. And I think the colour is looking a bit better now, but it is a bit too pink based. I would need one that's a bit more yellow. So overall I wouldn't say this is my favourite foundation. It's not very much product in the packet. There's only 23 grams of foundation in here compared to 30 in a normal foundation that looks roughly the same size, or there's 25 grams in here, so there's more in this one as well. Usually a foundation has around 30 grams in it, so you don't get much. It's just quite bulky packaging because it's glass, and I just don't feel like the doe foot applicator is very hygienic. I mean, you could put this on the back of your hand and then put it on your face, but I still feel like a pump or a tube is a bit better, because less air gets into the product, and also it doesn't touch your skin and go back in. So even if you put that on the back of your hand, it's touched your hand and then gone back into the product. So, you know, that's not ideal if you've got these in like a professional kit. So if you're just working on yourself and your skin is very clean and you don't have any acne or blemishes, you might find it's absolutely fine, but it's just sitting so badly on my skin and all these scars. And so I just think, you know, that was with a hydrating primer and with my skin was moisturised. So yeah, I won't be repurchasing that, but I would say to wait for this review to come up as well, because you'll see how well this covered my skin. I needed the tiniest bit, it blended out really easy. So yeah, this one unfortunately is a bit of a fail for me, which is the first I think of my channel. I pretty much liked all the foundations I've used, except maybe the Be Flawless Matte was a bit of a funny colour. You know, that's fine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and showing your support. I'll leave some other foundation videos below, so you'll see them. I have various degrees of acne and redness and dryness in them all, so you can see how well it covers those sorts of things. And let me know your thoughts on it below, and if you have any comments, remember to mention what your skin type is and texture and things, so people can get a better idea of how it's working. And yeah, thanks again. See you all soon. Bye bye.